Okay, class. Again, we will review our topic on variables and how to use variables in programming. As you know, that variable um, is used to declare, is used to store data or a value to represent a value. So just like in our algebra or in our mathematics subject, we use variable, di ba? We use variable x to represent a value like this one. But in programming, as I said in our previous lesson, that we need to declare variable. And one way to declare a variable is to use the data type. Okay, data type. Then next is the variable name followed by semicolon. So that is the format. Always remember that before you can use a variable, you have to declare it using a data type, then followed by a variable name and a semicolon. Example, we have a variable num. However, this is a variable num. However, in programming, we need what? Data type. So always start with data type and And of course, what is our initial value of a variable? That's why we normally use 0 as our initial value of a variable. In this example, we have n num equals to 0. Another example is if we're going to declare a variable na may value na 5.25. Halimbawa, we will use variable na ang value niya is 5.25 and there are data type variable nga nag-hold sa mga decimal places and that is what we call a double data type. That's why double. And then we need to use to name a variable that will hold the value of 5.25. So it can be num1 equals to 5.25. But then in programming, you need to add your statement with semicolon. So in this case, we have now two variables, the num and num1, and with a corresponding initial value. And in this case, if we're going to execute the program, walang output yan. It's because wala tayo tinatawag na output statement. This is only what we call a code. This is a code. That is only a code lang. That is not the output. If we're going to display the result, we need to use a command that will display the output. Pag sinasabi kong output, this is not the output, yung highlight ko, but the output is the one that na-execute na ni computer. So, the output command is system out println num. And if you will execute the code, the value is 0. Why 0? Because we called the variable num and num is equal to 0. How about num1? We will call it num1 and then 5.25. That's the output. To make your output meaningful, you need to combine the string and the variable. So, halimbawa, pag sinasabi nating string, double quotation, tapos this is num1 equals, this is num1 equals, and then you need to add plus sign. So this is a string enclosed with quotation plus to combine the value of the variable or the value of the variable num1. Execute. So now, as you execute the program, mayroon ng meaning ngayon yung statement na yan. This is num1 and equals to 5.25. If you observe line 8, ito yung code and this is the output. Ito yung output part and this is the code part ng program natin. So, how about if you're going to display the value of num. Okay, the value of num is 0. So, all we need to do is to type the output statement or the output command and tatawagin natin this is a string. Ito yung string num equals. Pag i-display natin yan, i-execute natin yan, walang laman because hindi natin gitawag si variable. Para ma-execute natin sa variable, lagyan natin ng plus, tapos tatawagin natin siya, yung pangalan ng variable, then i-display niya na karon ang value na this is num, and num is equals to our variable. Okay? So, that is how to use and call the value of the variable. Pag nakasulod na siya sa string, that is a message. Pag wala na siya sa quotation, yun, ibig sabihin, that is a variable and it will display the value of the variable. And another example, if we're going to display by X, pwede ka maghimo sa imong naming convention, maghimo ka sa imong naming imong name na gusto sa variable because ikaw man ang magamit sa program, but see to it na you have to have you must have a meaningful name of the variable. Instead na XYZ, why not gagamit ka ng uh, average for average equals to uh, 0 or 8 or whatever value as long as may initial value si variable. And if we are going to display the value of average sa screen natin, like this one, gagawin natin is we're going to use the, again, this is what we call output statement. Okay, so this is average. We will use plus symbol equals average. And then semicolon, and we're going to execute this one. Mayroon na tayong output na tatlo ngayon. And that is a simple way how to declare a variable and how to use the variable and call a variable para may ara kasing output sa screen. So again, this is the code. Pag sinasabi ko gani na code, yung highlighted ngayon. Pag sinasabi ko na output, ito na yung output natin. So, hopefully, alam nyo na yung difference ng sinasabi nating source code or codes than the output. Okay? So, next meeting, we will talk about the different operations or operators in programming, specifically in Java.